Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Joe here with Deranged. As you can see, we got a new ride. So we went with the 2023 Kawasaki KRX4 ES. So today I'm going to run you through real quick a little bit about the rig, why we chose to run with the rig, what our plans are for this KRX4, and then I'll show you a couple of the first accessories that we're going to throw on it. All in all, I'm really excited to have this rig. We were super impressed anytime that we've had in it with Kawasaki or otherwise. We've been super impressed with it. So I'm excited to have it as part of the Deranged rigs. Excited to put it to the test, excited to add some parts and accessories to it, do a little bit of a build with you guys on it. I'm excited for it. So with that said, let's take a look at it real quick and we'll just walk around. I'll show you some of the things that I love about the KRX4 before we talk about what the plans are for it, and before I show you some of the accessories that we're gonna add to it.
There's a big freaking dip right there, dude.
All right, before we jump in, let's start with the why. Why, after spending some time with the KRX4, did I decide that this was the rig that I wanted to pick up and add to the fleet? One word, it can really be summed up in one word, and that is ride. The ride on this thing is fantastic, especially for a stock rig. For those that have been following the channel for a long time, you know I came from a Honda Talon, live valve Honda Talon 4. It was a great rig. The ride on this is incomparably better. So it is just on another level compared to the Honda Talon. So why ride? Well, number one for me on the list is the reason I have a 4-seat machine is so that I can get out with my family and ride with my family. My wife, if she's not comfortable, then she will not want to come out. If the kids aren't comfortable, they'll not want to come out. So the better the ride, the more enjoyable the experience, and the better time we're going to have with the family. So that's the number one reason why I love the ride. Number two, when I'm alone, when it's just me and the guys, or whenever else, I like to rip. I like to go with speed wherever I go, or when I can anyway. Obviously, when it's the right time. But this thing, you can go at speed through whoops, through rough stuff. It just eats it right up, man. Eats it right up. So that's the number two reason why I went with ride, or why it can be summed up in ride. It's fantastic, the ride on this rig. All right, with ride out of the way, let's take a look at a few other reasons why we went with the Kawasaki KRX4. So high on the list for me is reliability. We've had a KRX2, Garrett has, Deranged has for a while, and it has been ridiculously reliable. It's been a very reliable machine. Kawasaki has a reputation for reliability. Do the maintenance on it, take care of it, and it's going to go forever. So love the reliability of the KRX4. A couple other things that I love specifically about the KRX. This thing comes with nearly great full doors. So full doors all the way around, no adding door inserts or anything else. It's got full doors all the way around. It's got inside handles and outside handles. Why do I say good, not great? Well, the one place that these could be much, much better, Kawasaki decided to go with a 2-piece door, which I'm sure most people did. Most people do anyway. But where they went with the seam on these, as you can see, it's right here. That seam right there can pinch the crap out of your skin. So not a great idea, or not a good place for the point which the two panels come together. I think it could be improved if they rolled that edge over the top. Obviously, that'd require them making new molds and everything else, but it could be better. But I love that it came with with full doors all the way around. Also love the gauge cluster on this thing. So a lot of people see this and they think it's a touch screen. Well, it's not. It's just a screen. It's an interactive display, I think no, it's not an interactive display. It's a meter, something meter is what Kawasaki calls it. But it's just a gauge cluster, but it gives you a ton of great information right in it, including your belt temp, including your RPMs, your speed, what your suspension settings are on, and everything else. So love the gauge cluster. Kawasaki KRX2, the standard one, and then I'm sure the standard one that will be on the regular KRX4, the non-ES versions. It's a great display as well. It's not full color or anything like this one, but it's a great display and has a ton of good information on it. One of the best there is. This one is as well. Next thing is the live valve suspension. So for me, live valve was important. I had it on the Honda Talon. I loved it in the Honda Talon. I think if you're not regularly in a machine with it, you don't appreciate what it does and what it is. So what I love about the live valve suspension is the ability to adjust on the fly. And it's fantastic that it automatically adjusts as you hit bumps and as you turn the wheel, all that kind of crap. The live valve suspensions that are out there, it's great that it does that. But the biggest thing to me, or the biggest benefit to me, is the ability for you to change the suspension characteristics with a dial when you want to. So I'll give you a good example. We ride pretty often, relatively often anyway, at Sand Hollow, Utah. And there, you're riding in the rocks, you'll do rock crawling, and then you'll go through the dunes, you'll hit some whoops, you can even hit some kind of desert trails out in that area. Each one of those environments requires a different dampening of the suspension. So this, having the live valve and the ability to adjust on the fly, gives you the ability to adjust for those changing terrains. So when you leave the rocks and head to the dunes, you can take it from soft and put it in firm and have confidence that you're going to be able to hit the whoops and it's not going to bottom out, or it's going to be able to handle them well. It's going to stay flat through them. So I love that component of the live valve suspension. So all around, live valve is just a great way to go. I think Fox and Kawasaki did a great job on putting theirs together. Next is room. So the room for the rear passengers, the room in the front, the Kawasaki in the front, it has great room. The only complaint I have with the room for the driver is the dead pedal is less than great, I guess you'd say. I'm a tall guy, so to put my foot on the dead pedal, it's a little awkward, little high, I guess, or a little close for me. For comfort, but that's something I get to deal with being tall. I can also reach stuff on shelves much higher than most people pretty easily, so I guess I get to get some wins with some losses there. So, but the room overall on the rig, especially at the rear passengers, man, I'm telling you, there is the rear passenger. We have the RZR Pro XP4, great room in the RZR Pro XP4. This is more than the RZR Pro XP4. So. Especially, I mean, I ride with the seat all the way back because I'm tall, but if you're a little bit shorter and you put the seat up a little bit more, there is ridiculous amounts of room in the back. So the reason that's great, obviously, if you're traveling with family, they're not bumping their knees on things. If you're bringing guys with you or whatever, adults in the back, they're comfortable in the back as well. So ton of room in the KRX4, another reason why we decided to go with it. Okay, now the last, I guess it's not the last, but the last one on the top of my mind, reason that we went with the KRX4 is capability out of the box. So this is a completely stock machine. We've spent plenty of time in completely stock KRX4s. They are ridiculously capable out of the box. So you can do some pretty aggressive rock crawling with your stock machine, stock tires, everything else. Obviously running through the desert, mountain trails, all that kind of stuff. It is very capable out of the box. For a lot of people, especially those new getting into the side-by-side or their first side-by-side, there's nothing you need to do to this rig. Maybe throw a windshield on it, maybe put a roof on it. Really nothing you need to do. They are a fantastic rig out of the box. So another kind of third reason that we went with third or fourth, whatever it is, another reason why we went with the KRX4. All right, now let me talk real quick about our plans for the build. So when I say build, we're going to be a little less aggressive with this one. So those who followed the channel, you know, and I'll put a picture here in the video for you to see, we did a RZR Pro XP that was a pretty substantial build. We put cage, seats all around, well, seats in the front anyway, not in the rear. We did a full wrap, we did wheels, tires, we did all kinds of stuff to this rig. And it is a fantastic rig. To give you an idea of how much we spent on it, I don't think we've actually told people exactly how much we spent on it, but that rig is a $68,000 machine when you include how much the machine costs, all the accessories that put on it, and that's with us doing the labor. So with us doing all labor, if you were to buy it, the same machine and do the same labor, you'd be into it 68 grand, 70 grand, somewhere around there. So that is not the direction that we're going to go with the KRX4. So, and we tossed around or threw this around for a while. We had planned on putting a full HCR long travel kit on it. We had planned on putting a supercharger on it. We had planned on doing all kinds of stuff to it. But our plans have kind of changed a little bit, and there's a couple reasons why. I guess we'll get into that as we progress through the build. But the biggest reason why is, although we love these fantastic, huge machines that we put a bunch of money into it, the vast majority of people aren't putting $70,000 into a machine. They're putting 6 or 8 things on it, putting $1,000 at a time here and there, or not even 1,000, 50 to 1,000 at a time into their rigs. And that's kind of the type of riders that we are most of the time. We do like to get a little aggressive on occasion, but most of the time we're just like you, just like anybody else. So with this build, it's going to be basically an everyman's build. So we're not going to get too crazy with the suspension. We would love to put a long travel kit on it, but with everything that we do with this rig, it's going to be with budget in mind. It's going to be with the regular kind of everyday UTV rider in mind. So we'll see as far as long travel goes. Likely for now, not. More than likely, we'll just powder coat the suspension and have it match what our plans are for it. So early plans are we're going to try to make this a relatively budget or a budget-friendly everyman's rig is the idea behind it right now. That being said, we're still going to do plenty to it, right? We're still going to add accessories that are budget-friendly. But still good quality stuff. We're not going to be reaching out to China companies and putting all kinds of China crap on it. We are going to go with good quality, budget-friendly accessories. And there are some of those out there. And I'll give you a few examples here in a minute. But the theme of the build, or the overall idea of the build, is just a everyman's budget-friendly KRX4. That's the direction we're going. The one place that we will spend a little more, I guess you'd say, and the one kind of exception to the budget-friendly rule is we do plan on putting a cage on the rig. The reason we're putting a cage on the rig is because we do like to ride in the dunes on occasion. We do like to carry high speed and whatnot, and we want the additional protection that comes from that. Not only that, so they say, a stock cage is good for one accident, right? You get in a wreck and then it's going to need to be replaced or whatever. You put it on its side and you're done. When you're rock crawling, there's a relatively decent chance, or much more of a chance anyway, that you're going to roll or tip on its side or whatever else. Having a non-stock cage allows you to tip it on its side or maybe put it upside down and then just roll it back over and keep going. A stock cage is not as likely, you're not as likely to be able to do that. So anyway, that's the theme of the build. Let's jump in. I'll show you just a couple of the quick accessories that I'm going to throw on it. The first couple accessories that we're doing, I'll show you those to you now. Okay, the first accessory, one of the first accessories that we're going to put on is suspension seats. So Aces Racing is a company out of California, and they do a great seat that is pretty dang budget friendly. They're one of the cheapest that I've seen, but they're still good quality seats. So we're going to throw these on. They've got a kit we've got them for the front 2 seats. We're not going to do the back 2 seats yet. We'll see what happens there. I'm not sure what the plan is in the back yet. But right now we're just going to put these 2 in the front, and we'll start there. We're not going to put in, we're not going to put in harnesses first or right away. And the reason we're not doing harnesses right away is because we got to wait for the cage to be done. So once the cage is done, then we'll decide and utilize harnesses. The next accessory that we're going to do, and this is a temporary accessory, but it's one that's needed and useful, and that is a half windshield from Tusk. So we're going to do a half windshield. We're going to put these KRX4 seats in, and then once I get this to St. George for the UTV takeover here in a bit, we are going to do put Tusk wheels and tires on it. Tusk Megabytes is what we run on most of our machines, and then Tusk wheels as well. They're a great quality wheel, they're a great quality tire, and they're, like I said, pretty budget friendly from Rocky Mountain. We'll leave links to the descriptions to all of these in the video description down below. So if you're interested in checking them out, click the link in the description, it'll take you to them. You can see the prices and all that kind of stuff for them. So those are the first 2 that we're gonna add to it. I'm gonna throw the windshield on real quick and then close it up. Secures with these straps here at the front. They're actually a nice kind of high quality looking and feeling Velcro strap. They do Velcro through. They're nice and tight on there as well. And then they have a rubber gasket that seals on the bottom down here, a rubber seal that runs all the way across. So great kind of high quality, relatively budget friendly option for a windshield on your KRX. This is for a 4. It's the same windshield for a KRX4 and a KRX2, same dang thing. But it works. It's a great windshield. Check it out. We'll leave a link to the description down below where you can check it out on Tusk's website or on Rocky Mountain ATV's website. If you need anything from there, click the link below and you can get just about anything you need for your side-by-side. When you do, it helps our channel, so we certainly appreciate that. With that said, that is the Tusk windshield for the KRX2 and KRX4. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next one.